welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I especially am appreciative to the SMA for inviting us to speak today. And I speak as us because I speak as myself, Jasmine Hasselback, Peers Representative, in my involvement in this program, but also the College of Medicine Mentoring Office. So today we'll be talking about the Student-Physician Synergy Mentoring Program, particularly. And so today I changed my hat. Most of you know me as the Peers Representative, and it brings to light this quote by George Bernard Shaw, which I really enjoy. The fact that every time you meet someone, perhaps you should reevaluate their measurements. So I'll talk to you quickly about the program outline, and we'll go into a little more detail through the presentation. So on paper, this really is taking one current medical student from the University of Saskatchewan and pairing them with a practicing physician anywhere in the province of Saskatchewan. We are also accepting, after discussions with the students and their comfort level, anyone who's been retired within the last 5 to 10 years as well. And the physician is to mentor the student until completion of their medical school. And hopefully, ideally, after that, there's a lifelong connection that does exist. And thus the student-physician program. So the dream, initially this was one of those hierarchical graphs, and I realized that's not really the way it is. Mentoring is in the center. The College of Medicine is involved, as they spoke a little bit earlier, in terms of there's a dedicated mentoring office with a full-time physician staff there who will facilitate the program, but also carries the umbrella, which also includes the Peers IM program, the mentoring of new faculty, the research mentoring, and this is just an entity within that mandate. The other is the SMA in response to the resolution from the Fall Regional Assembly and their commitment to us, both in terms of exposure to you all, to the physicians that you represent, and as well as financially. The Alumni Association of the College of Medicine has also been avidly interested in this program and has committed their time and connections as well. The physicians and medical students, although they will also be mentors and mentees, they're also, in my mind, whether involved in the program or not, advocates or speakers, or they're part of the circle of those behind this program. So just to give a quick outline as to how this came, in October of 2011, the College of Medicine hired one person with this enormous mandate with the goal of putting together a college-wide mentoring program, which includes various people at various levels within the college, from students to faculty to researchers to staff. And that's when the mentoring office was born. And they're the ones who have provided my green pamphlets and booklets that I have outside. In March of 2012, the mentoring office came forward, brought forward this program, and it was accepted and supported by the leadership team. The role of the SMA, spoken briefly earlier in regards to the Resolution 17 from the 2012 Fall Regional Assembly, and that there be a comprehensive longitudinal mentorship program. Initially it was for the SMA to be the anchor, but as they spoke about earlier, that we found out later that this was going to be a redundancy and that the College of Medicine Mentoring Office could be that anchor, and the SMA would rather be our connection to you all. The SMA group also has a working group that has existed for some time titled Mentoring. And so you, the SMA, is the representative body for the physicians of Saskatchewan. We see you as the connection between the College of Medicine, who has access to those students quite easily, to be able to link them to their potential mentors, who are the physicians anywhere in Saskatchewan. And we hope that the SMA will help us financially, and this is particularly in regards to the training and supporting of the mentors themselves. We'll talk a bit more about how encompassing to be a mentor truly is, and we feel that there needs to be more than just the title. And so we will be offering training, resources, so on and so forth. There will be initial training sessions when this program is implemented. We'll go through the timeline shortly to help prepare you, or prepare anyone who wants to be a mentor to a medical student into that role. There'll be special information sessions regarding various topics as time goes on. I get the impression a lot of you sort of wonder what's the point of a formalized program. A lot of you take students into your clinics, you teach them, you're involved with them, that communication remains open. But there's a particular reason that having this allows mentors and mentees to have conversations amongst their counterparts in regards to those roles specifically. So a mentor discussing to a mentor what their roles are, what that means, what they've learned, what problems have arisen. Having an external supportive construct can help the relationship stay on track through time, whether there's challenges or not, from both parties. There's an onus on evaluation that comes with a formalized program, both of the relationship itself, but also the individuals in that relationship through time. It equalizes opportunities to some degree. Some students are far easier to get themselves into an ad hoc mentoring relationship, and some students really do have challenges with that, and we're trying to level the playing field here. The guidance for this is available through the life cycle of the entire mentorship or mentoring relationship. And there's an increase in provocative learning and discussion, because there's that, this is something serious, this is something we can sit down, we can actually have those cheesy conversations of, what do you want to do with your life? What are your goals? How are you going to get there? It takes mentoring basically from a good thing, which we all know, to a goal-oriented, complex entity which needs to be fostered and cared for through time. So we're going to go through some of the benefits for the physicians and the province. The students, they'll get their own. So there's going to be improved job satisfaction. This is evidence that comes from, primarily the research has been within the business realm, a fair amount in nursing. We're sort of, I'm extending that from those. There's been very little actually within physicians and medical students. So there's a newfound interest in one's work that a lot of us can lose with burnout. There's an opportunity to influence the future. There's increased peer recognition with those you work with. You get new perspectives from those that you mentor. There's an opportunity to question one's own views and values. As people challenge why you do things, you have to really think about why you do them. It's an opportunity for self-development. You're going to use and improve more of your skills than you would if you didn't have that individual behind you. So for the people of Saskatchewan, increased retention. This is an entire extrapolation from the business world. I'm not promising anything. We will be evaluating this program. Hopefully we can prove that this is truth, and it will keep those students more likely in Saskatchewan. There's improved stability, as those students say, and they tend to stay in one place. Professional standards are more closely monitored and hopefully maintained, because there's a check and balance on both sides, the mentor and the mentee. There's improved communications amongst the physicians across the province. You've crossed borders. Perhaps a mentor and a mentee wouldn't necessarily otherwise have been connected, and you've linked those two worlds together. There's increased productivity, the concept of two minds are better than one. And improved succession planning. I know it was brought up as an issue earlier, but if the young people are connected more to the established physicians of the province, we can have our pulse a little bit more on where they can end up and who can fill whose shoes. There's an increased speed of change, just because communication just moves a lot faster. Potential challenges, time. I think that's a big one for most people. Investing too much or too little. Space. We're a big province. The students are primarily in Saskatoon and Regina. And so distance mentoring is likely, and I like to think, a good thing. And sustainability of the program. And that's why the mentoring office in the SMA needs to be committed for the long term. So some potential solutions for that is for time, using alternative communication strategies, which will be part of the training that we will go through, just thinking outside the box. And also increased self-awareness and constant evaluation, which is what we spoke of earlier. And both parties need to be cognizant of burnout within the relationship, so that both can speak up if it's happening. Space, using alternative methods of communication. Once again, is going to be our solution for that. And also the externships that already exist for the students. You can kind of link the two components together. If you yourself and your mentee have an interest in a particular subject matter, you can coincide your conferences. And there will also be facilitated events through the mentoring office. So the role that's going to be the student is right now the students of Saskatchewan want you. Those students who are here today, I've told them that they need to get at least 2 of all of you to come talk to me today. There'll be mentoring training sessions, and I emphasize that there will be many, so you can work around your schedules, through the summer to give the mentors the tools they will need. In the fall, as the new first-year medical students start, we'll be rolling out their applications to the program. And then we'll take your applications, link it to theirs, and hopefully we'll have a match. As one of the people I spoke to today, it's basically like a dating service. So if the dream falls apart, I have this beautiful concept that every single mentor and mentee, it lasts a lifetime and everyone's the better for it, but that's not really true. So open and honest discussion will be key at any time, just like any relationship. The mentoring office will always be a place of appeal. We don't want to see burnout from the physicians or the students. We just ask that you come forward if you feel you cannot continue with this, just so we can make accommodations. And the mentoring office is willing to reassign at any time. Just talk about it. The training sessions will make clear resources available to the mentors to deal with challenging situations, such as students who might be dealing severely with depression or divorce or death. From my experience, that those things do happen, and the mentors do need to be prepared for that. So remember, no one's alone in this. You're not signing up to be abandoned. This is very different than the ad hoc relationships that exist for most of you, because you're all here, you're involved, you care. There is support that will exist. And I'm just gonna, this is the training session, this right here, but I just want to emphasize something. My dream is that every single physician in Saskatchewan is going to jump on this, they're going to sign up, and everyone's going to have a medical student, and it's going to be beautiful. But at the same time, a sobering thought is a bad mentoring relationship is worse than no relationship at all, which was Ambrose said in 2002. And these are various different points and facets of a mentor. And the reason I bring that forward is because a lot of us have 1 or 2 elements of when we define a mentor, and it truly is this all-encompassing when you're entering into this program. And I just say that because I just want you all to really think about what you're committing to, or your peers. So to dispel a few myths, and I've already come across them in talking to you today, I'm not picking on anyone, but mentoring is not coaching. Mentoring is not teaching. Mentoring is not career counseling. It's all of those things and none of those things. So a mentor doesn't have to have taken the same path as a student sees themselves taking. This is just about a physician who's been there, done that, helping a student who needs to do that. And it's not necessarily continuous. You're not committing to a noose around your neck for the rest of your life. A mentoring relationship can stop and start, it can go. It's very dynamic, it's very fluid, and it's what you can make out of it. It doesn't have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It didn't follow how to write a story like your elementary school teacher taught you. It's very unique. So why mentor? These are my 2 favorite quotes. In learning to teach, in teaching you will learn. And your most important task as a leader is to teach people how to think and ask the right questions so that the world doesn't go to, if you take a day off. And I think this has to do with leadership, succession planning, everything here. You are the people who are here now. You are going to potentially have an opportunity to influence what will be there after. So this is your point to kind of make just a little bit more of a direct change. So I'm going to be bold and assign a task to the SMA. As a resident, I feel like I'm pushing my boundaries, but I guess I should change this because I thought I would be back in the room, but I'm actually outside. I'm in here too because I've got both my hats on and both my measurements. But my green flyers are out there but you can find me and I'll get you one. Within that we have a pamphlet which describes the program and who to contact and how to apply. And then also an application if you're so keen to get all involved today. But if you don't want to do that, at least bring it back to your clinics, bring it back to your colleagues, bring it back to your department, bring it back to your regions. I hear the CEOs are here, bring it back. I'm completely flexible. I just want to find that one person who perhaps hasn't wanted to be a teacher with the Faculty of Medicine, but still would like to have their hand a little bit in the future. So you can, and yes, we've already had one person fill in an application today. I'm looking for more. So everything on the internet is cat memes, but I'm going to be that object that pushes you, hopefully, and the mentoring office will be that entity that keeps this going, and the SMA is going to be the wind at our back. So thank you very much.